All right, welcome everyone to Together Tuesday. My name's Kevin Vogel. I'm going to be your host again today. And today I have Abby with me. Say hello, Abby.
Good afternoon, everybody.
I'm sure Melissa will join whenever she gets a chance. And today we're going to be covering a few things. We're going to be talking about a lot of new features and even some settings inside of Teams. So I'm going to be running through some of them. Also inside of Outlook, there's some new things that we just want to point out to you guys. If you're updating your Outlook clients and really updating your Office 365 environment and taking, the Microsoft updates. And then Abby's going to answer some questions about Inscape and go over a couple of demos on a few things that are brand new that are coming out in Inscape. So with that, let me share my screen instead of sharing and there we go, instead of sharing the presentation. So let's go in here and let me open up Teams here real quick and show you some of the new things that are here. So first of all, up under these three dots, as you probably know, they switched this around a little bit, but settings is now under the three dots. What's underneath your Sirius computer or whatever company you are would be all the other environments that you can actually log into. You can see I'm in quite a few different ones here, and this is just a handful. But you can actually go in, if you're a guest in any of those other environments, you just basically click on your computer name up here, or your company name up there. But under settings, Microsoft has added quite a few things here that are a little bit different. So first of all, they've always had the themes, the three different themes, but now you can actually change the way that your chat is laid out, which they have what's known as comfy, which gives you a little bit more space. But if you want to squeeze more chats on the same screen, if you pick compact, you're going to notice that if I close this out now, it's actually going to change and really, let me find one that has a whole bunch of chats in here for you. It actually makes the chats a lot closer together. If I go back in here and change it back to the comfy status, you'll see that they actually separate and move yours to the right and keep the other ones to the left. So it's just you can get more on the same screen at the same time. But one of the things that I wanted to show you was underneath app permissions. In app permissions, shoot, it's under files. My fault. I always mix those two up. You can actually have them open your files with the desktop app in a browser or inside of Teams. So in other words, if you're accessing files inside of Teams, and you want to look at a PowerPoint or a Word document, Excel spreadsheet, PowerPoint presentation, whatever it might be, you can actually have it now open with the desktop app by just selecting it here. You can open it in a browser using the web-based application that Microsoft has, or you can open it up in Teams where you won't leave the Teams environment. I like it with the desktop app, so I actually picked that here. So that's kind of new for those of you that haven't seen it there. It really does make a difference, at least it does to me anyway. Also underneath the general tab here, I forgot to show you a couple things down here. So you can actually go in and delegate who can make and receive calls on your behalf by just going in here and managing who can do that for you. Real quick, real easy to do that. You can also go in here and now schedule your out of office message inside of Teams instead of going into Outlook. And as you know, you can go in and schedule just by going into the options menu inside Outlook. You can put down your out of office message. You can now do that here in Teams. The other one that I wanted to show you here is under devices, which is your noise suppression. You'll notice that mine is off because I have a headset that actually has noise suppression built in. By default, it's over here under auto. So if you have a headset that has noise cancellation built into it, turn it off, because what you're doing is you're actually having one noise canceling fighting another, and you're going to get a buzz or a lot of static in the background. So really the best thing to do is to turn the noise suppression off so that it doesn't interfere with each other. The other thing is under captions here, you can see that you can turn on and off when you turn on transcription, which is something we're going to talk about next. It's going to identify you in whatever you're talking in the transcription piece of this. So you can turn yourself on and off by just flipping the switch right here. Now, transcriptions is down here. Oops, my fault. I did that wrong. Let me go to the other screen. It's in this one. If you go here under more and you go here, you can see that the recording here, and there's a transcription one that's also usually there. One thing that we did here at Sirius CDW is actually just combine the two. So whenever we start recording, the transcriptions kick off automatically. But by default, you're going to have both a start recording and start transcriptions, and you can actually choose either one of them. So if all you want to do is transcribe the meeting, not record it, you can do that. And all of that is there. It will identify based around your login who's speaking during the transcription. It really does. It works really well. I'm surprised at how accurate it is. You'll also notice that they've changed a couple things up here. They've added now music. So you can actually disable or enable high fidelity audio. So if you're playing, like I play music at the beginning of these meetings, you can turn on the high fidelity, which I usually do. But if for some reason you want to turn it off to save bandwidth, that's fine. You can do that. So that's built right into here. Rooms, for those of you that aren't familiar with meeting rooms, you can go in and choose as little as 2 rooms all the way up to 50 rooms. So you can, and then you can automatically assign people to rooms where it just sticks people, but you can also manually put people in each one of the rooms. You can set a time limit and kick people back into the main meeting after this. So pretty neat feature. I don't use it a lot, but when you do need it, it's nice to have it sitting right there underneath the rooms icon that's right here. The other thing is, and this is pretty important, as you probably know, if you just leave a meeting and you're the meeting organizer, that meeting, actually the chat and everything else keeps running in the background. If you don't want that to happen and you're the meeting organizer, you'll get a little drop down arrow here next to you, and you can end the meeting for everyone. That will stop people from chatting inside the meeting or you getting notified that somebody chatted in that meeting. So you can end the meeting right here. You can also go into any of those meetings and actually leave the meeting if you're not the organizer. So if you go back in here and go to chats, so for instance, here's a meeting right here. If you go here and, oh, I guess I already left this meeting. Any of these, yeah, see there's the leave button right there. So if you don't want to keep receiving chats from that meeting, all you got to do is click on that, and now you're going to leave that meeting. You won't be chatting or receiving chats in that meeting anymore. So pretty easy to do that. The other things I wanted to show you was here in Outlook, which these are a couple new things that just came out. And I'm borrowing one of Melissa's emails here. So you could see that Melissa actually sent me an email, and sorry, Joe, and it actually gave me some replies that I could just use, just like you can, like in a chat message, for instance. Sometimes they give you suggested replies. So you can, this one was talking about, what day to schedule a meeting. And, either days works for me, or, that would be great, or sounds good. So you can see by just clicking on these, you can actually send just a quick reply, just like you could in a chat message, but now in an email. The other thing that you can do is now tie in Teams a lot closer inside of Outlook by now using the new Outlook or Teams button that's up here. So if, for instance, Melissa sends me this email and shoot, I want to share this email in Teams. Or you know what? I'd like to chat with Melissa about this email. So if I click on that, you'll see that it brings up a chat right here out of here. So now I can go in here and start chatting with Melissa right from the Outlook menu. So really works pretty neat. I can even go down here and chat with both people that are in this. So if I want a group chat, so I want to chat with both Melissa and Joe at the same time, I can do that. Or I can even schedule a meeting around this email real quick by just clicking on that. It will schedule a meeting, and you'll notice that it copied the email string right into the meeting here. So very easy to do that. I can put the start times and all that, boom, click on it. If I want to make it a Teams meeting, I can just click on the Teams meeting up here, and it will add the Teams link and everything in there. So pretty easy to do that. There's the Teams meeting right there. So these are brand new features, just came out in the latest update for Office. Figured you guys might want to take a look at them. I use them all the time. I try to, use the new features so I can talk about them with you guys, but they really are useful. So if you get a chance, you should try to do it. It really works really pretty well. So with that, unless there's any questions, let me just double check. Are there any questions that I could answer here? Oops,
Not seeing
wrong.
any in the chat window, Kevin.
Oh, okay, great, thanks. Oh, hi, Melissa. I'm glad you could make it. All right, yep, no
Thank
message.
you.
But yeah, if you do have a question, I'll stay on and we'll let Abby take over the session, and I'll stop sharing, Abby, and you can share your screen.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Let me see if I can pull it up. Okay, guys, so today I'm going to go over a couple questions that me and Melissa usually get from our clients. So one of the questions that we usually get is, how can I view my invoice? So I'm inside the Inscape platform, and if you navigate to the account info tile, you'll bring up your financial snapshot. And to the left of that, if you go under, you can see your PDF invoice histories. If you select that, here is all of your PDF invoices that you're able to download and take a look at up to the most recent one. Another question that we get is, how can I update my billing information? So under the PDF invoice history, you have your billing information, and here is where you can go in to update that info, as well as go ahead and add up to 5 emails to receive the invoices every month. So another question
Can I ask you a question about that one?
Yeah.
Let's say someone leaves my company. Can you delete one of these emails real easily too?
Absolutely. You can just click on this little red notification here, and it will remove a person.
Perfect. Okay. And can I use a group mailbox to send these to, or do they have to be assigned to an individual?
I believe you can use a group inbox here.
Okay. You can even use a Teams one, I think, also, right? So if you wanted to actually give it, each one of your teams inside of Microsoft Teams, believe it or not, has an email address. You can actually put that in there. So if you want the invoice to go in, let's say, the accounting team every month and have it posted right to that team, you could put the team's email address, and I'll show that to you after Abby's done where to get that from. But you can actually plug it right in here real easy.
Absolutely. And that also brings us to our next question that we get is, how do I add or remove users to the Inscape platform? So if you go into the right-hand corner, you can see the security icon. If you click on that, it takes you to your global access control. So here you're able to revoke roles as well as add a role. So simply click add a role. You can type in that user's email address, and then here you are able to decide what you want to give this person access to. So for example, if I wanted to add, say I'm going to add myself, I can click on accounts admin, which is what I just showed you, and you would be able to assign this person any of these roles below. So the same thing with Inscape Manage. We get asked a lot, how can I add a user into the Inscape Manage platform? Well, if you click on that, it'll take you to the Inscape Manage dashboard. And again, if you search for that security icon, if you click on that and go to System Users, here is where you can go in to add a new user to the Inscape Manage platform. Just simply add their email address in, and then here you can go in and select the roles for this user. So jumping back into the Inscape platform, I wanted to point out that we have rolled out a new tile, which is the Cloud Cost Management. And here you're able to explore and analyze your AWS and Azure cost. So here we are on cost review. You can see this chart here, which shows you your daily cost for your AWS and Azure. We realize that some people may utilize Azure, but not AWS. Same thing here. You can go and filter between the two. So for if I wanted to filter by AWS, I could simply do that here, as well as filter a little bit deeper, and I can filter by account, cost type, resources, service, or tag. As well as you can add profiles. So you're able to add up to 20 profiles here. Select I want to receive a cost snapshot by email, and then you're able to choose the frequency for this. So this could be emailed to you on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis, and you also get to decide what day of the week this would be emailed to you on. And then you can add up to 3 emails to receive a snapshot of this profile.
And you can do that for either AWS or Azure, or both, right? I mean, it doesn't
Absolutely
have to be one or the other. And I know that Google's coming out pretty soon, right?
Yes, and I believe they're going to be adding Google into this as well. And then down below here, you're able to export this chart here to a CSV file to manipulate it however you choose so, but you'd be able to see your AWS account, service, resources, or cost. And you're also able to group this by account, service, or resource.
And you got Azure down there also.
Yes, sir.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Just wanted to show them that. So either one, and then obviously once Google comes out, then you'll have 3 tabs down there that you can export.
Yes, sir. That is correct. So then we're going to move on to budgets here. You can add and create budgets. So you're able to filter this again by AWS or Azure or both. And then you can also add in those deeper filters of account, cost type, resource, service, or tag. You can give your budget a name here. You have your creation date, your expiration date, as well as your budget amount. So I'm going to put my budget amount to $15,000. And then here you're able to set alerts. So if I want to be alerted when 25% of my budget is met and 50% of my budget is met, you can easily do that, as well as add up to 6 emails to receive these alerts when your budget has been met.
Now, is that budget monthly or is that yearly?
It's yearly. So
right.
Yes. So, but when you meet your 25% or your 50%, it'll still alert you.
Right. But what I'm saying is, if it's 15,000 a month that you're looking to spend in Azure or AWS, whichever one, you got to actually look at it from a yearly perspective instead of just a monthly perspective.
Yes. And then back on this first page where you create your budget, here is where you can give it the expiration date. So
Right.
it can be up to a year, or if you wanted it a couple months, you're able to do so. And so the same thing with Commit. This is for people who are on an EA, an EDA, or a PTA. It just helps you keep track of your spend for what you have committed for the year. So for example here, do Abby. Say I committed to spending $100,000 a year. So again, you're able to filter this by AWS or Azure, or a combination of both. And it just helps you keep track of where you are at in your spend. So again, you're able to set when you want to be alerted when you have met 25% of this commit or 75%, whatever you choose to set these as. And then again, here you're able to add a 6 email address to receive notifications. And then again, going back over to the left-hand side, you have your advisor here where you can look at your recommendations. So each recommendation will indicate the potential monthly savings when implemented. Again, you can filter this by Azure, AWS, or have a combination of both. But here you'll be able to go through and see all of the different recommendations. You'll be able to see if they're medium impact, success, or warnings by their color.
Yeah, and I think that dashboard's really cool too. The one that shows everything all at once. So you can actually see, for instance, there's 21 recommendations for cost optimization, or 51 for service levels and so on. So if you just want to get just a nice picture of it, this is a great place to start. And then once you want to drill into any one of these, you can just click on them, correct?
Yes, sir.
So for instance, you pick the 51 service levels. So now these are just those 51. And then again, once you find one that you want to look at, you can click on that and get a deeper dive in there, which will actually make some recommendations on what to do to solve the problem, if you want to. I mean, these are all just ways for you to either save money, make it more secure, mitigate risk, the things that we try to cover as much as possible with Inscape. Sorry, Abby, I took over.
No, you were fine. That is what I had planned to show today. So this was just a quick overview of this new tool. If you would like to take a deeper dive, feel free to reach out to me or Melissa, and we'd be happy to set up a time to take a deeper dive in the cloud cost management with you.
And just remember that we're always enhancing this platform. So you're always going to get things like this coming along. Like I said, Google's coming pretty soon, so you'll see that pop up all of a sudden. And then we try to include them here in our Together Tuesdays so that you get a firsthand look. But Melissa and Abby, and myself, or anyone here on the MessageOps team, we'd be more than happy to, give you a one-on-one, help you drill into yours, even set up some of those profiles that Abby talked about, and get your people used to using the tools that will help you optimize your cloud investment. In fact, it was funny because one of the customers told me that Inscape helps you take advantage of the cloud, not have the cloud take advantage of you. So I thought that was a pretty good line. So with that, are there any questions? Melissa, you see any questions out there from anyone?
Let me take a look there for you, Kevin. No, I don't see anything in the chat window.
All right, well, we're coming out with the schedule for April. We'll have 4 more Together Tuesdays in April. If there's anything that you want to see in April, put them down here in the comment section here, and we'll take a look at it before we start putting together the agenda. But we're always trying to give you a little bit from Microsoft, a little bit from MessageOps, and try to keep you up to date with what's coming out. So with that, We thank you for your time. We'll give you back 5 minutes of your day, and have a good one. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, everyone.